We first learned that UNG was going to acquire the former Lanier Tech campus around 4.5 to 5 years ago. And at that point, we had no idea who was going to get space in any of those buildings. And so that sort of began this process that really is not complete since we're not yet moved in. And the first step was, I remember going to a meeting, and it was in our big ballroom downstairs, and there were somewhere in the range of 45 to 50 people sitting at this really long table. And there were cabinet members, from the administration, and architects and people from facilities there. But then basically all of us from various academic departments we got to go around, and in front of all the other people, we had to make our case.
Okay, so when the new Film and Digital Media building opens, Nesbitt will change quite a bit, actually. All of the program, for the most part, is going to move over to the new building. Certain key classes are going to stay here. The studio production class that I teach in Nesbitt in the studio is going to stay here. Now, what does that mean for us? That means that once that building is built, hopefully we're going to get some upgrades in equipment that are going to bring us more to the modern age, and we'll also lose a whole bunch of equipment that's in the studio right now, which doesn't have a home. All of the narrative type of equipment that we need to store, we don't have a home for that right now. So it kind of like takes over Tim's office, and it takes over the studio, and it makes it really kind of hard for us to work around it. At the beginning of each class, students have to move equipment from one side to the other depending on which side of the studio we're using. So it'll be a big improvement for us filming in the studio in Nesbitt as well.
Our biggest limitations right now is just we've outgrown the space. We've looked at increasing the amount of gear as opposed to an increasing number of students, and that means you have to get gear into the students' hands so they can learn professional method and actually learn the objectives they came here to learn, to work as a professional in the film industry. Unfortunately, that leads to the problem of you have to have somewhere to secure and store and clean and repair and use the equipment. So right now it's a almost critical tipping point where we need more closet space, and just getting the gear into the hands of students is becoming a problem because you can't really order more of anything if you don't have room for it.
So we're going to be entering the Film and Digital Media building on the North Campus expansion. This is building number 24. This is sound stages, recording areas that we're setting up for our film program. You can see we're getting down to the completion stages. Most of our finishes have already been taken care of. We're just kind of to the cleanup stage. This building will be ready very soon. We're in the reception area. This area is faculty offices. So we've got private offices down this wing of the building. They're all private offices. Private offices, and we've got a workroom and storage area back here in the back. We'll begin to move into the soundstage areas. So there's three large soundstage areas in this building. As you can see, there's lots of large door access to move large equipment around. We have wire handling capabilities for data, and they can separate the sound stages here. So if they need to bring stuff from inside, they've got that area closed off. You can see how wide the walls are. There's lots of sound deadening built into the building, from the roof all the way down. So as we come back into the central area of the building, this is where we're going to have your dressing rooms and restrooms. The craft room is here. Here's the craft room. We're not quite finished in here. It's where they make magic happen. So we move down here, we move into the dressing room areas. So here's the makeup area right here where they can do their makeup. Dimmable lights, pretty bright. Okay, so now we're moving down into the editing area. We have some theater areas where we can view film. Okay, so previously, as this was Lanier Tech property, this was a big warehouse. It had modular walls in it. They did robotics training. They did solar power training, electronics. They did their continuing education in this building. This is the sound recording area. I think this is where we keep equipment. This will be the actual recording room. We have some small storage area. This is the back side of the film and digital media building. We have very good access to this building as well as some small storage areas. Okay, so we've been working on this campus expansion project since the first of this year. As far as construction side, we've been doing some planning for about 2 years on this project. We are scheduled to complete this middle of January 2021. As far as the construction side of this job, and we are on schedule. We're probably a couple weeks ahead of schedule at this time.
This is going to mean many things for the film program, and I don't want to leave out the fact that our other programs are going to benefit from this as well. So some of the ways that I know this is going to help the film program, we're going to have 3 sound stages in that building, and they are designed for film production. What we have now is great for a day use studio, but it's really more conducive to a broadcast space.
The great thing about the new building is, one, it just gives us a huge amount more space, but it's also adding some unique things that we didn't currently have on top of space. So like there'll be some individual editing bays, so a student can be in a room by themselves editing, not having to worry about somebody else coming in because they reserve space for it, being able to edit audio without having to wear headphones. We're also going to have a space over there that's kind of like a conference room type of a space with a conference room table, and that's kind of great for us as faculty where we can do some meetings, but what it also will be utilized for is a lot of our writing courses. So writing for media, screenwriting, things of that nature, where we want really more of an intimate type of a place to sit.
I try not to keep everything cluttered, but again, everything that we order, new or replacement or anything, it has to be staged somewhere. And since my office is one of the most secure locations, that's where it goes. So slowly and slowly, it eats away at your available space because you got to put it somewhere. And when we do go to our new building, we definitely won't have that problem.
So the thing I enjoy most about teaching is my students.
Students.
I love helping people learn and grow. I did that with my own business years ago. I always loved taking people who were a PA and watching them grow in the industry.
This gets a little philosophical, but I think the students should all become smarter and more adept than the master, and I love watching that happen.
Just by going down the road 45 minutes. And that is such an invaluable resource. I love to see the look on students' faces when they come in and they learn something, or if they have a challenge, when they finally reach that epiphany and you can just see it, they just get it. Everyone gets that knowledge and it's shared freely among students. And that is the heart and the soul of what this industry is all about.